So before I start this rant, I'd like to say that this is not a super tough challenge, and I probably only spent 20 to 30 minutes trying to do this trophy at most. However, it definitely is a rather tedious one due to the trial and error gameplay of this minigame, and it was by far my most replayed section of the hard mode run. So, in order to unlock the No Fear of Heights trophy, you need to climb all the way up to the top of this giant tower whilst avoiding all of the traps and obstacles that are thrown at you, such as windows opening and closing, people throwing plant pots and weird things, and even a UFO that tries to drop a cow on you. Yes, this is a thing in this odd game, and you'll have to do all of that without ever firing your weapon to destroy those obstacles. You'll need to move precisely and confidently to find the best route up to the top in order to quickly bypass all of the traps without ever firing your weapon, which in normal circumstances is a great way to destroy the obstacles coming at you, though for this trophy you can't shoot anything, so the challenge of getting to the top is made even more harder as you can only dodge and move around obstacles and not simply just blast right through them. There is very little room for mistakes, as one wrong move or even a slight hesitation as you climb up can see you moving right into a no-win situation where you simply can't avoid getting hit no matter which direction you try and move to. You see, in this minigame, if you make one mistake and get hit just once, it's game over, and you'll then respawn at the very bottom of the tower and have to climb the whole thing again from the beginning. So whenever a run fails, it can feel like an absolute slog to have to restart and do it all over again. For me, this is mainly due to your slow movement speed, as each move has an animation that will snap into a place on the grid, making it feel rather stiff and clunky to move around. The rigid nature of this movement and the awkwardness of controlling it in all via the left analog stick simply add to the pain and frustration of this trophy. There were times when I wanted to move left or right and instead I'd accidentally move upwards or vice versa due to the slippery analog stick controls. This minigame begs to be played with the D-pad, as you can only move in those four directions anyway, but by having it on the analog stick, your movement is actually compromised, and performing quick moves in quick succession is trickier, as you're always readjusting the stick and trying not to slightly point it in the wrong direction. Failing it due to the overly sensitive and awkward controls sounds like a cop-out, but seriously, the analog stick sucks balls here, and it will cause you a few fails along the way, I'm sure. This minigame would have worked so much better if it was played via the D-pad. Why they didn't map it to that, I don't know, especially when the route up to the top requires a lot of quick movements in multiple directions, as you need to quickly react to any given situation, with some areas requiring you to move in 3 different directions simultaneously, or move to a route of safety really quickly going back and forth. There's nothing worse than failing when you've pushed left but the character moved upwards into a death square, trust me. There's a total lack of any checkpoints during the climb too, which means you'll be forced to repeat the beginning parts of the climb over and over and over again as you learn the route and what obstacles lie ahead bit by bit through trial and error. It becomes old fast, and as you move slowly and often have to wait for falling obstacles to go past before moving again, it can take a while to climb back to where you were, and this just added to my frustrations with this trophy, as I just desperately tried to rush and get there quicker to get back to where I was, only to then fail and mess up much earlier on the climb due to rushing. In several attempts I'd also do everything right, only to then move and suddenly find myself in a no-win scenario, a death screen if you will, whereby there was suddenly no possible way to dodge and avoid getting hit. This is mainly due to the RNG nature of this minigame, as it doesn't play exactly the same every time you replay it, and also because of those people in windows throwing stuff. Ugh, seriously, they suck. You see, sometimes they'll throw things early as you're approaching, and other times it'll be a little delayed throw. They could also not throw at all, or decide to walk to the next window that they're standing by, so you can never be 100% confident in climbing up to the windows to get above them, as you're never certain of what they'll actually do. It gets worse when there's 2 or 3 windows together, so there's more things being thrown, and sometimes with the RNG, they will all be thrown at the same time, and when you're blocked from moving across to the sides, you're just forced to take a hit and get a game over. So yeah, The no fear of heights trophy is a frustrating one in Lollipop Chainsaw, but by no means an impossible task, and with some practice and a lot of patience, you'll eventually make it up to the top without using your gun to pop this trophy. But jeez man, the controls, the slow movement and the BS RNG made this an absolute slog, and that is why the no fear of heights trophy in Lollipop Chainsaw REPOP earns its BS rating of